Today we're here for BSO Vibes with Leo Hussain and Francesco Piemontesi.
It's the first time I've done it, actually. In fact, it's the first time I've ever conducted a Tchaikovsky symphony. But I mean, obviously they're so well known and so well loved that they're kind of part of one's experience, musical experience anyway. I'm not a great one for listening to recordings, but actually, I mean, we were talking a lot last night over dinner about various recordings of this piece and you know, who judges which corners well and all this kind of stuff. So actually it has been, with this piece particularly, it's been really interesting. And YouTube is an amazing thing to have, because you can just spend hours and hours looking at videos of every conductor that has ever lived, basically, in the last 80 to 100 years conducting stuff. So it's an amazing resource that there is, yeah.
Yeah, Francesco, do you use YouTube or people's recordings to influence how you play concertos?
Well, definitely. I think it's a question of balance, how much you do it, because on one hand, as you said, that's the most inspiring source for learning new ideas. On the other hand, I think it was Haydn who said once to somebody who asked him how he could be as original as he was, and he said, you know, I'm living in the Schloss Esterhazy in the middle of nowhere in Austria, and I'm forced to be original because there is nobody around. So I think it's a question of when one should listen to a recording and when not. So probably what I do, I listen to a recording, then I learn a piece, and then I don't hear, while I'm learning the piece, I don't hear anything. And then once I've performed it a couple of times, I can come back to old recordings or new recordings. I don't know yet, and then I can have, I think, a healthier relationship with the piece.
And with the Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra, you're going to be performing Mozart's Concerto No.25. Have you played this before, and how have you both decided to go about rehearsing this?
I think it's one of the grandest Mozart Piano Concertos in the kind of writing, with these maestros in the first movement, and it's quite awkward. I think it's by far the most awful C major piano writing I've ever heard. You know, that's actually the first cliche every piano teacher tells you, is that the C major is the the lightest, and no black keys in it. But then this is the answer to this kind of cliches, and it's quite a thing. He kind of all the time uses the weakness of the fourth finger, which Chopin then magnifies a lot in his etudes.
Yeah, I mean, it's great when because obviously Francesco's played it before a few times, and so he has his idea of how he plays it. And actually, for us, it's just a question of, particularly with Mozart concertos, there's so much interplay between the soloist and the orchestra. It's for us a question of listening to his sound and how he articulates things, and then for us really trying to match it. I mean, we'd spent a while as well trying to work out how, playing with different sizes of string sections, because it's particularly in this hall, it's quite a big hall, and the piece is quite a big piece, but at the same time, if you have a string section which is too large, then you end up drowning out some of the individual solo wind lines, and it just becomes a bit heavy, a bit sort of un-Mozartian. It's just very difficult to get the brio in the sound somehow. So that was another part of the process that we did yesterday.
And then we were looking forward to what's happening in the concert, because this is I think one of the most exciting things in our job, is that you never, you can rehearse 25 times the same thing, but then you can agree on every idea, and you can study everything, but then in the end, this kind of little spontaneous
art of the life
things,
but it's great. It makes you focus. It makes you live through the performance. Otherwise, it just gets so routine. It's something I learned very in an extreme way from Gergiev. He's sometimes rehearses terrifyingly little, but actually this energy of the performance, because everybody is alive to it, and in the moment, is thrilling, really thrilling. It's like a drug.
And I remember myself when I was 10 or 11 listening to the 3 last Beethoven sonatas played by Radu Lupu when I was still living in Lugano. And I remember these thrills at the end of the Opus 111 by Beethoven, and this magic suddenly. I mean, I think that's one of the moments where I can say my musical life changed. I suddenly understood what was possible with this black monster in front of me, which is rather heavy, and it's not particularly as aesthetic as a violin is, but then I understood, you know, and I think when you have this experience in your mind and you want to go this way, then the practicing and all the efforts will come in a natural way.
So coming to live concerts, coming and getting involved is the best way forward to be inspired?
Definitely.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thanks.